What's up YouTube? For tonight's video, we have a full worst Gen 5 Pokemon team. Right, we've done Gen 1 to Gen 4, now we're on to 5. What do you think is the worst Gen 5 Pokemon? Or just if you got a couple of them, leave below in the comment section. Let's see if your team is close to mine. And if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, let me know in the comment section. Okay, so I'll be explaining my sets in one of the battles, and the other one I'll be explaining why I put these Pokemon on my team. Let's see if we can shoot for 2,000 likes. People who enjoy the theme teams, and let's get into it. We have a battle against Tapu Dusk. These ones are done on my Discord. Discord is in the description of the video too. Also, thanks to all the people that rocked up for the stream on Twitch last night. It was a blast. Okay, so we got the Dust Clops lead here frisking out my Fly EDMZ on my Emolga set. So this Emolga set was as follows. We got Air Slash, Agility, Electro Ball, and Hidden Power Grass. We got Tip in Nature, Max Special Attack, and Max Speed. So we got a physical Dusclops here. It's going to actually get a static from my Emolga, which is really nice. I feel like static is more of a handy ability on Emolga. It's already got really good base speed. Alright, so getting my speed up as I use agility, but I actually do need agility for Electro Ball. So Electro Ball obviously is based on speed, so obviously the faster you are than the Pokemon, you know, the more base power it would be. Obviously it has a cap, but I'm trying to get to the max cap as possible. But I'm going to go down to the Shadow Sneak from the Dusclops. Unfortunately, I didn't get to use my Emolga, but don't worry, people. Emolga will come back. Also, I did get a Emolga sweep on the stream, so I'll probably put that up sometime this week. It was rather funny. So, we're going to bring in the Simipour. Now, I put Simipour, 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 and Simisage. This one sort of like represented all of them, right? Because I kind of felt they needed to be there. But more on that in a sec. We're going to go into Watchog here. I thought they may go for a Ghost type move, but they're going to go for Earthquake instead. That's going to do over half health to my my Watchog here. So that kind of sucks. I've got to swap that out. I want to leave that for a little bit later on in the game. So I'm going to go into Unfezant now, because I feel Unfezant can pretty much wall this Dusclops all day. The only thing it can do to it is a Brick Break, which is not going to do too much at all. So let's go over this Unfezant set. This is a bulky set. So we got Roost, Toxic, Aerial Ace, and Heat Wave. Heat Wave just there for annoying steel types that come in and stuff. We got Relaxed Nature, Max Health, and Max Defense with the ability Big Peck, so I don't want my defense being lowered. And I've also got Leftovers as the item. So it's a fairly bulky set. And on the defensive side, not so much on the special defensive side. Okay, so Banette's going to come in there. I don't want to get any status on me or anything like that, so I'm going to go into Stunfisk, and it's going to go for a Toxic. So this was a Bright Powder, a Bright Powder Sandstorm Stunfisk set. Let's go over that one. We got Sandstorm, Pain Split, Muddy Water, and Mud Bomb. I mean Scummy Water. So the idea is to get the sand up and dodge all the attacks and spam Mud Bomb and spam Muddy Water to get those actually drops. And rely on Sand Veil and Bright Powder to dodge all the attacks. When you do get on low health, you can go for the Pain Spit and get your health back. And the Sandstorm is still doing damage in the meantime. When the Sandstorm runs out, you can go for, another Sandstorm and just rinse and repeat. Unfortunately, it doesn't have much presence at all. It's pretty much just relying on missing all the attacks and, the small amounts of damage from Scummy Water, Mud Bomb, and the power of the Sandstorm. Anyway, so we got Banette going for a Curse here. Now, Curse used on a Ghost-type Pokemon will sacrifice half their health. And now it's going to go for the Phantom Force. So obviously, that's their strategy. Go for the Curse, then disappear with Phantom Force while the Curse does some more damage. Curse will do a quarter health to you every time, as also I am actually Toxic as well, which kind of sucks. So in this case, Stunfisk really, I kind of pretty much got counted here because I got poisoned earlier on, and the set really didn't work. And yeah, a lot of the time with the Stunfisk set, I kept getting hit all the time, so I had some pretty bad luck with it. So swapping that out, might be able to use it a little bit later on. Banette's obviously going to go for a Ghost-type move there. It's locked into Phantom Force, or the 2-hit move of Phantom Force, so I'm going to swap in Watchog. Now, on this Watchog set, this is actually a Choice Scarf set. This is a set I find works best on Watchog. It's a pretty terrible Pokemon, but this one works pretty nice. So we got Zen Headbutt, Retaliate, Knock Off, Ice Punch. We got Adamant Nature, Max Health, Max Speed, and Choice Scarf is the ability. No, Choice Scarf is the ability. That better be the top comment. The ability as Keen Eye and item is Choice Scarf. Alright, so going out of the Watchog and going into the Stunfisk, I was thinking, might be able to dodge an attack, right? And I do with the Scummy Bright Powder. Unfortunately for me, the sand actually ends. So Stunfisk is on its last little legs there. I was hoping I could get a Pain Spit up. And Shadow Sneak actually misses without the sand up, so that was awesome. And now we're going to go for a Pain Spit and get some more health back on Stunfisk. Unfortunately, old Dusclops doesn't actually have a lot of health. It's got very high defense and special defense, but its health is, very, very lackluster, so I don't get a lot there. Also, Stunfisk also has a lot of health itself. On the Stunfisk set, we got max defense, max special defense. I didn't want to put in any health because Pain Spit, it's better when you're on low health. So I get some damage off against the Dusclops. That's the best I can pretty much do. Now we're going to swap in the Watchog to finish off this Dusclops. It's only a little bit of health, but boy, it's caused me a lot of trouble. So finally finishing off the Dusclops. It wasn't really even like stalling set either. It was just like very, very tanky, right? And this team kind of lacked a lot of power. So now we've got Murmur here. Now, just in case Murmur has Everlight, I'm going to go for the knockoff. I knew that this would probably sack, my Watchog. Unfortunately, it doesn't have Everlight. It's got Focus Sash instead, so it's definitely a sweeping set. And Dank Pulse is going to take out my Watchog, which is going to go down, unfortunately. But that's all good. So now we're going to go into Simipour. So Simipour is this one was a physical set. So this was probably the best set on my team. We got Aqua Tail, Ice Punch, Knockoff, and Hone Claws. Jolly Nature, Max Attack, and Max Speed. The ability we have got is Torrent, and the item is Splash Plate. So Torrent obviously being, when you're a low amount of health, quarter low health, you boost your water type moves. And Splash Plate to make it even stronger. Okay, so swapping out Simipour, just in case of the Will-O-Wisp from the Spirit Team. However, it's going to be a Z move. So Spirit Team, this was actually a physical, like an offensive physical Spirit Team set. It's going to boost its attack using its Z power. So it's going to even have more offense, and it's going to go for the Z Taunt, which sucks. So unfortunately for me, I can't actually use Toxic. Now, this was a fairly long bit here, like something else. So I actually might explain some of the sets, or some of the reasons why I put this Pokemon on this team. So firstly, with Unfezant, it's pretty much outclassed by every normal and flying type Pokemon like in the game. It's got a very barren offensive move pool. It's got some nice support moves, but it's not a lot of reasons to use it over other normal and flying type Pokemon there as well. It's like it has stuff like Tailwind, Hypnosis, Wish. They're pretty good, but really it's kind of lackluster in its offense, and I made a bulky defensive set, but you really need it to be a little bit more bulky on the special defensive side for it to be a really, really good support Pokemon. It's walked by Rock, Steel, and most Pokemon mostly, so it's not the greatest Pokemon in the world. But I want to say something. I really do like all these Pokemon. They are rather fun to use. You can go for some memey critical hit sets that can work on it, but those once again are very situational. Anyway, so we covered Unfezant. We got Maractus here. Maractus is going to come in and use the Giga Drain. This is a special set. Let's go over what that one is. We've got Sunny Day, Solar Beam, Giga Drain, and Hidden Power Ground. Modest Nature, Max Speed, Max Special Attack, and we obviously went for Modest. We want to get some more, power out of that. We got the Chlorophyll, the ability, so when the sun goes up, the Chlorophyll boosts the speed by ×2, and I'm able to outspeed a lot of things here. So putting the sun up, unfortunately, Spirit Tomb is going to attack me, so it's going to be able to take me out with, some priority Sucker Punch, so I've got to do a couple of swaps here. Maractus, another Pokemon that's very outclassed as a grass type. Its special move pool is absolutely barren. Like the only thing, it's got like Giga Drain, Solar Beam. They're all grass type moves. That's pretty much it. If you want to go for some coverage, you have to go for a Hidden Power. You could go for a little bit more versatile on the physical side. It's got a couple of other moves, but therefore you got to, go down to that base. I think 85, stat in attack. So it's got very low speed as well, and it's also fairly frail. So it's just one of those Pokemon with some odd stats. You need it. The best you could probably get out of it is go for a Chlorophyll Sweeper. The thing that probably sets it apart from other grass-type Pokemon, the only real reason you use it can actually set up spikes and things like that, and then it has like spiky shield. So it does have that little niche, but outside of that, it really can't do a lot that other grass-type Pokemon. And that's why it doesn't get chosen very often. Okay, so getting a Toxic up on the Spirit Tomb, trying to get around that Sucker Punch. However, it's going to go for a Taunt instead. Oh, man, this Spirit Tomb was such a long part in the battle. Anyway, it's going to live on 1 health. The merch is available, people. Also, thank you to the person that just bought the T-shirt about 30 minutes ago. Thank you very much. Now we're going to do a swap into Maractus here. Maractus is kind of it's done. It's on low health. I sacked it off. Spirit Tomb's going to go for the Foul Play and finish it off. But that's all good. Now, I've got one more Pokemon. Sorry, I've got 2 more Pokemon left. The Simipour and the Unfair. I nearly called it Tranquil then. Oh, Simipour. Okay, so let's say Simipour, Simisage, Simised. These Pokemon all run very similar kind of sets, like the Nasty Plot, the Frail Sweeping set. That's usually what they all run, right? They are very, very outclassed by a lot of other Pokemon. Basically, the thing they've got over the real redeeming quality is their speed stat, right? They've all got nice speed. Now, their abilities aren't the greatest because, Gluttony and, like Torrent, in that example, right, the fact for them is they need to be on low health to work, right? So, Simipour is kind of like it's a very frail Pokemon, so a lot of time you'll find you won't actually be able to get the most out of those abilities. So, if it had a better ability, then sure, would have been nice. I mean, you could get around them with stuff like Substitute or things like that, but, once again, they're very sort of like gimmicky. So, that's why, they're usually not chosen. Also, they're very much, especially in Simipour's case, it's walled by bulky water types, and then with Simisage, grass, and then Simisea fire. They're very, very, they're walled very easy. Also, they do lack some priority moves as well, and we've already gone over those abilities as well. So that's why I put them on my team. They all run fairly similar though. You can run them physical and special, sure, but you kind of you always kind of bump into the same thing. You still get walled and stuff. Except that time when I hit 6 focus misses against like no guard slakings or something like that, or huge power slakings. I can't even remember what it is. All right, so we got the Drifblim coming in here. It's gonna go for the Thunder, which is gonna land on my Unpheasant, and boy, I'm not gonna live that one. Coming on the special side, this Unpheasant is not bulky at all. It's gonna go down. It's more bulky on the on the physical side. So I'm trying to think who we haven't gone over yet. So we got one more Pokemon left, being my Simipour. I'm going to go for the Ice Punch here to finish this off. And we also have the big rat at the Alola Raticate as the last Pokemon too, or the Totem Raticate. So go for Knockoff. That's a little bit more base power than Ice Punch. And Drifblim is going to go down there, which is good. I definitely would not have lived a Thunder there for sure. All right, so the last Pokemon we got is Raticate. Now, Raticate appeared to be more of a supporty style Raticate from my earlier encounter with the Unpheasant. So I'm just going to go straight for an attacking move here. Aqua Tail hits, thank goodness. And now we got the rat going for the Toxic. Pretty much, I can just attack this thing and finish it off. Now, the Pokemon I didn't actually mention was Emolga. Now, Emolga has very, very weak offense in special attack and attack. It's also very frail. Its abilities are fairly useless as well. Like, Static is very... it's one of those abilities that can sometimes work, so it's definitely not foolproof, and Motor Drive is sort of like, it's kind of like one of those things you don't really need on it, because it's already a really fast Pokemon. That's its really only redeeming thing, that it's fast as well. And, a definite Pokemon that would outclass it would be something like Rotom Fan. It pretty much does everything it can't do. It can't do. So, yeah, that's usually why it's not picked so often. Okay, so let's get on to the second battle. This was against Hood on my Discord, and we got a Swanna lead. Now, I went for the Mud Bomb there. We had the Swanna swapping in. Unfortunately, the Togedemaru is going to get off that one scot-free. So we had a couple of weather wars in this battle. We had the Stunfisk using Sand and the Swanna setting up the Rain Dance. So I did not want to get hit by some boosted water moves in the rain. So I'm going to set up the Stand. So I was pretty much trying to get some damage off on this Swanna and maybe get a Pain Spit up to try and lower its health. Now, Stunfisk. I really like Stunfisk. So its abilities. Limber is an absolutely useless ability. Static is very... Once again, it's very situational, and Sand Veil, like what I'm using. So once again, another situational ability. So really not the greatest, not the greatest spread of abilities in the world there. Very interesting typing, Ground Electric, quite interesting typing there. So definitely not bad, but it leaves it open to a lot of, water, grass type Pokemon that really, really destroy Stunfisk. For me personally, Stunfisk gets worn down very easy. Usually, whatever set you want, it does get very worn down. Its speed stat is very, very low as well. I mean, if it was me to make Stunfisk a good Pokemon, better than what it already is, it actually needs a more viable form of recovery outside of Rest or Pain Spit, right? If it had Recover, it'd be really, really nice. Like, its support would be really, really nice. Living on that Aqua Jet there from the Swanna and getting off my Pain Spit there too. But yeah, that's why I put Stunfisk on this team. I really do like Stunfisk. You either got to run it as a bulky support poke, or you can run it as you can even run it offensive, but when you run it offensive, it becomes, very, very less bulky, so it's very, very prone to getting one-shotter then. So, anyway, that's the Stunfisk down. I nearly took out a Swanna. That was you guys have got to admit, that was pretty good. I almost took it out only using Muddy Water, Sandstorm, and Pain Spit, so I was very happy with that result. Anyway, so we're going to bring in the Emolga. Swanna's going to go for the Aqua Jet here, doing minimal damage to me. I'm going to go for Electro Ball and finish it off. However, it's got the barrier that resists it, but it's already on a low amount of health anyway, so Swanna is going to go down. Okay, I think I've done everyone now. I think I've done everyone. Oh, I don't think I've covered Watchhulk. That's the only one I haven't actually cover. Just looking at all of them. Yep, that's the only one I haven't covered. When Watchog comes out, I'll explain. So, we got the Togedemaru in here. I really cannot do anything to this thing at all. It's going to go for the fake outs. I actually went for a Z move here to get some damage in case it had sturdy. Now I was thinking, what if it doesn't have sturdy? Let's swap it out. Might be able to use my Emolga for a little bit later on and go to Maractus. Now, Maractus has hidden power ground, which I know will do some amazing damage to the Emolga. It's not the Emolga. Man, these electric mouse Pokemon, they're confusing me. Okay, so we have the Zigzap there. It's not going to do too much. Now we've got the Nuzzle. So obviously they're going to try and paralyze me and probably try and spam Iron Head afterwards. That's usually what they do. I'm going to finally get off that hidden power ground. I finally got a super effective damage on the Togedemaru, but it's going to have sturdy. But I was very happy with that. I really could not actually do too much more to it. Unfortunately for me, it's going to have a berry and heal itself up. So I need another hidden power ground to take out the Togedemaru. I desperately have to take this out with Maractus. I really don't have a lot of other options outside this. It's actually a fairly good counter to my team. I don't get hacked at all, so I'm very surprised by that, and I get a second hidden power ground off taking out the Togedemaru. Maractus came in such clutch there, taking that one out. Alright, so obviously Maractus is going to go down to whatever Pokemon that comes in, which is the Braxion. Man, Maractus caused this trainer's like so much trouble. Now we're going to Z move here. I was like, okay, is this going to be a status move or like or is this going to be overkill taking out my Maractus? It turned out the Fennekin, guys. That sounds like a mix of Finneon and Kinnekins. Anyway, so it's going to use a Z move against me. This is complete overkill, and my Maractus is going to go down. It's going to play a little bit of ping pong. Alright, speaking of overkill, I was like, let's bring in the Watchog and go for a Choice Scarf Retaliate to end this Pokemon's career. So with Watchog, oh man, it's got a very, very limited move pool. Its stats are absolutely horrible. I mean, this is the best set I've found. Like that Choice Scarf Retaliate set. I've got, I said I had Ice Punch and then Knock Off and Zen Headbutt for fighting types. I've had the most success with this set. Its abilities. Alright, Keen Eye I ran in this. I reckon Keen Eye is its best ability. Analytic isn't the greatest because it's frail, right? So Analytic gets its boost from going second. So you wouldn't want to go second because you're going to get one-shotted. So it's kind of useless, right? And yeah, it's just not a good ability on it, in my opinion. I think Keen Eye is probably the best to run it. It's got poor offense, it's frail. Really, you're not really doing a lot of damage with it. In case you do something like, if you deliberately sack a Pokemon off then retaliate, that's probably the most damage you're going to do with a Watchog. It can run some sort of supporting moves like Super Fang, but outside that, it's, there's a lot of Pokemon that can do, its job like 100 times better. But still, I quite like the Retaliate set. It's quite fun. And, I get some nice little surprise KOs every now and then with it. Okay, so we got the Persian. It's just going to hang on there, the Nasty Plot Focus Sash set. And I'm going to go down to a Swift. I'm going to live on 1 health. The merch is available, guys. I tricked you. You thought it was going to go down, didn't you? You thought it was going to go down. How good was that? I got it for Retaliate. The Persian lives on 1 health. It goes for the Swift. I live on 1 health, and I take it out with Retaliate. Man, that was amazing. The merch is available, people. Anyway, so Lycanroc's going to come in. Definitely not going to use the Cell Rock. I'm going to swap out the Watchog maybe for a little bit later on in the game. So we're going to go into Unfezant. Unfezant's going to be able to eat up that Cell Rock. As I said, this is a very defensive set. I really can't do a lot to Lycanroc at all. I was thinking maybe I could get a Toxic off against it. That would be like, sort of like my best. Or Aerial Ace, one of those, like, just some damage. I tanked that Stone Edge. That was really, really nice. I'm very, very proud of my defensive Unfezant set. Worked fairly well in these battles. Okay, so we're going to go for the Toxic. It lands on Lycanroc, which is good. And that's pretty much all I can do with Unfezant. It's going to get completely destroyed by the Lycanroc. My Watchog's on 1 health. I can't swap it in. I'm going to get destroyed there. I'm down to my Simipour to swap into this afterwards. But yeah, guys, let me know what Pokemon you think is the worst in Gen 5. Of course, I want to say I do like all of these Pokemon. I like these Pokemon a lot. I like using them. I just like looking at them more critically sometimes. Why they're not used so much, or like why people don't choose to use them so much is kind of what these videos are about. Okay, so we got the Lycanroc swapping out. A little bit scared on my Simipour. I would be too. Zebstrika's going to come in, streaking on the field. I'm going to go for the Aqua Tail. It lands, but it's just not enough to take out the Zebstrika, unfortunately. And now Zebstrika's going to go for a Wild Charge and take out my Simipour in 1 shot. Like, Simipour is very, very frail. Even, like, neutral hits can take this Pokemon out. That's also another thing about it, too. Okay, so Zebstrika's going to go down to the Wild Charge. Recoil damage. The last 2 Pokemon are the Lycanroc and the Watchog. I nearly called it a Patrat then. That's living on 1 health. Obviously, the Lycanroc can go for his Cell Rock to finish me off. I was kind of hoping there that I could finish off the Lycanroc with the Simipour. Zebstreaker comes in and takes me out, and then I finish it off on 1 health with the Retaliate, but that wasn't going to be the case. Hope you guys enjoyed both these battles. I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.